Hey everyone, welcome back to Hacky Lessons to talk about the One Piece manga chapter 1107. Quick reminder, I will be discussing spoilers in this video. And we're back after a 2-week break, and we're back to another great chapter. I didn't end it with like a fire under me the way the previous chapter got me going, but definitely a fantastic chapter. A lot to talk about, a lot of good moments, the story's moving forward, and a lot of, we see some people. So let's talk about the cover page first, because I just want to point out that Beppo is psychotic, alright? So don't make him jealous. Anyway, giants are landfall and they're attacking and they look like they're having fun. We get to see our boys from Annie's lobby, and Usopp is his dreams have come true. So looking at these giants, and one of them has a tattoo on their arm, and you might think, oh, is that a sun? But you'd be mistaken. That is actually the crest of courage. This giant is a big Agumon and Greymon. And this is a good chapter in terms of seeing where all the Straw Hats are at. A lot of the chapters recently, since we finished the flashback, we've seen where Luffy, Sanji and Frankie are, but everyone else is sort of, it's been a while. And unless you go back and read those chapters from before the flashback, which was ages ago, you might forget what they're doing. So Usopp and Nami and Chopper and Edison are up in the Labo phase. And then I love this moment with Brook just chilling, drinking a cup of tea while Lilith is freaking out as the Sunny is about to explode into the barrier of the Labo phase. Cuts away from her before she explains her plan, so that's... I guess we'll see more about that in the coming chapters. Cut back to Zoro, he's fighting Lucci. That's right, they've been fighting for ages. I need to stop going on One Piece Twitter because people, I don't like the way people are like, oh, Zoro's struggling against Lucci. They've been fighting like for ages. Lucci's in his awakened form. Zoro isn't even bothering with Resort style, but never mind any of that. People who fight against over who's better out of Sanji and Zoro just drive me insane. You like One Piece, you like them both. Come on. Anyway, enough of that. Now we get to see Bonnie and Luffy talking, and Luffy is oblivious to everything. In case you've forgotten, because we as the readers know about this whole Nika situation, but Luffy doesn't. That was explained to us by like exposition and whatnot. So Luffy has no clue. She's like, what are you crying for, man? And Bonnie says, you're Nika. And Luffy's like, what? I really like them bonding about like this punch and everything. She tried to do rubber punch like yours, like her Nika-like future. And so Luffy is going to show her how it is done. And he wails the shit out of Saturn with a Dawn Gatling. Which, to differentiate between Jet Gatling, there's a little bit of inflated fist in a third gear sort of way, but I think it's a bit looser where it's, this panel of Saturn being like, stupid insects, there is a reason you are worthy of death, and Luffy's like, no there isn't. So the Dawn Gatling knocks Saturn flying, and you see this panel here where he's sort of spiraling, and I think that's what he's still doing the Dawn Gatling there, and that's the difference. Instead of punching forward, he's punching in a twist, I guess. Can't move Vegapunk, he'll die if they move him, but I think I've just worked out what's going to happen. Maybe. It's really hard to tell, because there's a lot of ways it could go with Vegapunk, as far as does he die and become the Sunny's AI or something? Because his whole brain is inside the Labo phase. And you've also got the satellites still, there's like three of them still kicking. But you do have Kuma there, who has the ability to remove pain. So maybe that's how Kuma goes out. Interesting. I literally just thought about that just then. So it's very ambiguous as whether he has consciousness right now. You see him looking up at Luffy. It's hard to read his face. So Sanji knocks out one of Kizaru's laser beams. I could have sworn we saw that a couple of chapters ago, but he's freaking out. Especially Frankie's freaking out. And Sanji, who is talking like Sanji, love is stronger than light. That's a very Sanji thing to say. But if you notice, his eyebrow has done the German double six thing and he's spiraled the wrong way. So I remember before Egghead and we were theorizing about, are they going to see Vegapunk in the next arc? Maybe Vegapunk can do something about the German double six modifications to Sanji. Well, it's coming up now. But this line from Kizaru is hilarious. If that's true, then physics as we know it are dead. He's got a point, but I mean, that's just One Piece in a nutshell. I love this panel of it's Luffy Sanji team up against Kizaru. Badass Sanji lighting the smoke. Better start writing a formal apology. And Luffy's just bouncing around having fun. Very yin and yang there. And then we get to what is probably the biggest talking point of the chapter, and that is Katarina Devon and Van Arga are here. And you know, the Straw Hats haven't seen them. They're over where Saturn got knocked. He got knocked a fair distance, I think. And Katarina is taunting the shit out of him. How the Five Elders have fallen. She finds his powers very interesting, and you know what Blackbeard pirates do when they see an interesting power. But regardless of that, she touches his leg, and in case you forgot, because I did, I had to go dig up volume 92, because that's when it happens. Chapter 925, Absence, is when we see an example of Katarina Devon's powers, and it is basically like Mr. 2 Bon Clay's powers. So she has the nine-tailed fox, which lets her become a clone of someone. So that's an interesting thing if you don't know, if you're not like a native Japanese person, you don't know all these legends and stuff. And you start to put two and two together, it's like, oh, Naruto is the nine-tailed fox and his main ability is making clones. But regardless of that, she has touched Saturn, so now at some point she's going to pretend to be him, I think we can assume. So, mission complete. When she says mission complete is as she touches him. Was that the mission? But at the very same time, they didn't think that the Five Elders would be there. So maybe their mission was just for Katarina to touch someone higher ranking for them to infiltrate at some point down the line. That's probably the best guess because we have no other clues of what their mission is, because they piss off after this. So we get a little bit of a implication that Blackbeard is somewhat like Kuma in the sense that he has a special bloodline. Same as perhaps Shanks might have a special bloodline. Who knows? There's so many directions that could lead. Maybe it explains why he can have two double fruits. I don't know. But what are you people really after? Van Arga, badass the world, and he just stares at him with just like. As soon as Saturn hears that, he's like, I've got to take them out, and Van Arga is ready. He warps away straight away. And then we meet Caribou, in case you forgot he was on the island. It's pretty convenient that this week's anime episode reminded us, because it was the moment where Caribou realized he's on a government island. He's like, you got to get me out of here. And Joey's like, nah mate, you're on your own. So he's just still been kicking around, so that does help possibly explain how Luffy got fed. It's starting to become a lazy storytelling device at this point. Every time Luffy's hungry, Caribou is around to feed him from the depths of his mud. But he is a big Blackbeard fan, and so I guess he goes with them. And that is a problem because he knows things. He knows about Shirahoshi. He knows about Pluton. He may even, although the SBS explained that he couldn't hear through the barrel, but he may know what Luffy's dream is. You may recall he was still on the ship when Luffy was talking about that, and even we, the readers, don't know what Luffy's dream is. So interesting implications there. And that is the end of the chapter, and we only have to wait 1 week for the next chapter. So what will happen? Anyone's guess. We'll probably get to see more giant action. They're on the island now. All we saw of them in this chapter was them getting closer to the action. So they'll probably get there in the next chapter. And then we've got the situation with the sun. He is about to run off the island cloud. I think everyone's going to somehow converge onto the Sunny, maybe a giant will catch the Sunny, and then we're off to Elbaf, which is exciting, but I feel like the island of Egghead has so much more to explore, but with things the way they are, I guess we can't stay on the island too much longer, so Egghead is probably close to an end. Alright, that is all my discussion for this week's chapter. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to come back next week because there is a chapter next week and I'll talk about it again. Alright, I'll see you then.